Okay, taken from where we left off, because we know that the people from Ustream, some of these guys who really don't want this information to get out, so we're just trying to get out as much information as possible, understanding that they have new laws within the United States that if you speak certain things, they will try to stop you from, they will try to cut you off. So we let's get right back into it. Thank you. Let's get right back into it. Okay, what chapter and verse did you leave off at there?
Revelations chapter 13, verse 14.
Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Go ahead.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
He make fire come down from heaven on right while people are looking. See, you have to realize when John the Revelator was seeing this through visions, when the Most High put His Spirit on him, there was no technology of surface-to-air missiles going from one country to the next. Those things were unheard of. So to John, he's seeing a miracle. That's a miracle. That's top, what you would call sorcery. To have missiles and glided missiles to come from one country to the next and blow up something nuclear. This is the wonders that John is seeing on the Isle of Patmos. So my question to the atheists who don't believe the Bible, if John the Revelator see these things years before it happened, right? Could it be that the Bible is true, and shouldn't you believe in the God that could give these types of revelations? And that's for any atheists out there who would like to just think that they're going to escape judgment by not believing there's a God. But that's a whole nother conversation. Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 14.
Go ahead.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. So this beast's greatest weapon is deception. Now, now you're talking about some straight deception. Barack Obama receives the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh my goodness. How can he be the recipient of a peace prize when he does nothing but war? See, that's the deception, to make people believe that peace is really war. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous that this guy get a Nobel Peace Prize. Or I'm going in for humanitarian reasons and kill and bomb everybody in the country. That's humanitarian according to their agenda, but it's deception. If you say it enough to the people, then they will believe it, even if their eyes are showing them something entirely different. It's just programming, humanitarian. Even though people are dying and blood everywhere, people are dying, getting killed, it's humanitarian. That's your deception. And then they keep you busy. What they're using right now in the world is austerity. You're so caught up into not being able to pay your bills to get on the battlefield to understand who's doing what. You're just trying to keep your light bill on. You're just trying to keep food on the table. So through austerity, they're getting you out of the way too. Okay? This is their deception. And here's a greater deception. What's going on with your Occupy all over the world? You think this is not government program? Government staged, so they can bring in NATO and military into these different areas and bring forth certain legislation? What is the answer to Occupy now? The answer to that is global socialism and bringing forth a government in which they can spread the wealth throughout the whole earth under one bank. One bank, one card. You know what your card is? I want you to look at the screen, and we're going to go into it. I want you to see your card. For those who, like to go to the ATM machine, get your money out, get your finances out, and this is what Brother Mark brought to my attention. There it is right there. There go your card right there. Look at your ATM card. There it is. They're testing it in your pets right now. So it's okay, because I'm going to put this out there now. And for those of you who are doctors, those of you who are nurses, who are used to doing certain things like syringes and doing things like surgery and all that. When you join the truth of the Most High, your job is going to be going through when people are being scanned, like you see in the Matrix, and taking people's credit card from them right there. That's going to be their credit card. So you doctors and you surgeons, so y'all can look at that. You know exactly where it go when we have pets or whatever the case is. Because listen, you don't have to be chipped. We'll just chip your dog. We still know where you are. Okay, so we're going to need this. Get it in your mind now. We're going to be de-chipping people. That time is coming very soon. Don't forget, Mark, you have an article you're going into, right? Tomorrow. About the about over 100,000 of these ships being shipped, about over 1 million of them being shipped over into the Israeli military. So they're looking to chip the whole Israeli military with the Vera chip. They're rolling this out. Now, notice how they do it. See, this is because they don't originally roll this out in America. America think that Israel is so far away. Well, it don't have anything to do with us. That's overseas. Understand that America and the state of Israel is tied to the hip. They're one and the same. The government powers that control Israel control the financial systems of the world and control America through the Federal Reserve System. The moment America decided they don't want the Federal Reserve System, that, let me tell you, they will totally flatline the money and your dollar will be worth nothing. So they control all your money in America. So don't think that them rolling this out in Israel have nothing to do with America. That's what we're going to show you in Revelation 13. They're rolling it out so that you will see that it works. And then they will do something in America as a pretext to make you or to allow you to accept being chipped. They'll have all the feel-good stories about this POW missing in action, but they was able to find him through the Vera chip. Or someone was sick on the battlefield and they found out he was sick through his Vera chip. These are the feel-good stories they're going to roll out. Okay? Now, this is where this thing get a little crazy at. Ben Ami, which we spoke of last week, agreed with the Israeli diplomats and those that gave him land near the nuclear power plant. Ben Ami have agreed that the children coming up within his organization must go through selective services and do a tour of duty in the Israeli army. So what does this mean? This means that these chips will be chipping our people from Dimona in the Israeli military. They're going to roll this out in America. This Occupy Wall Street, Occupy these different areas are pushing the politicians into the answer they're looking to roll out anyway. They're going to flatline the system and bring forth the mark of the beast. Why? Because people are waking up exponentially. People are waking up all over the earth and starting to realize what's going on. And so they have to rush this thing. Go back to Revelations.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 14.
Read that.
Excuse me. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
The miracles are the military might. Okay? At the sight of the beast. Read.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Now, who had a wound by the sword? The Roman Empire. They had the sword, but they were healed in 1776 when they drafted the Constitution with a new democracy, a new republic. Okay? Read that last part again.
Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
So the image would be after or pattern itself after the original Rome. Now, what country have patterned themselves as an image after the original Rome? America, the bald eagle, the democracy, the republic, the senators, the Republicans, your Caesar as president. The balance between church and, the balance between what you would call the balance of powers within the political structure, which they claim is checks and balances. Read.
Verse 15.
15.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So if you don't want to stake claim to this democracy or lay down and become a part of this Roman Empire, it says right here, if you don't want to worship the image of the beast, if you don't want to lay down and give your arms and just fall under America, which that's where the UN is, you should be killed. Now, no wonder so many people are being killed in the Arab states now, because they don't comply with the American or Roman way. They understand who their enemy is, and they don't want democracy. So the answer to that is that they roll out their miracles, which are their weapons, to go into these different areas and just flatline and kill a number of people in those particular areas. This is what's going on. This is the book of Revelations. Read.
Verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great.
Doesn't matter how small or great you are. You notice the poor people out there occupying and saying, well, listen, we are the 1%, we are the 99% going against the 1%. It doesn't matter if you're the 99% or the 1%. They're targeting all of you. Okay? And that's another thing. These guys thrive off of opposition and off people rioting and going against each other, because they're the only ones who have the power to come with the solution. They have the diplomatic power and the finances to bring forth the solution. And I'm going to show you the solution here. Read.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
Doesn't matter who you are. Read.
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
That's the answer. Listen, that's the answer, brothers and sisters, to Occupy Wall Street. You want an answer? Here it is. He causeth, let you know it's cause and effect. With all these things going on, you need an answer. The answer is, this monetary system is not working. It's unfair. Everyone must have the same level of playing field. So he calls both small and great, rich or poor. It doesn't matter what your economic class is. It doesn't matter whether or not you're strong, weak. It doesn't matter. They're going to level the playing field here. To receive a mark. When it says receive, that means the etching of the skin. Now tell me, who came up with that? That was the Most High that gave that to John the Revelator. That they will be etching your skin. Now, it's everyday news now to see someone being chipped. You can go on YouTube and see someone getting chipped live. You got the Baja Beach Club, people getting chipped from the Baja Beach Club in different parts of Spain, different parts of Florida, where they can go in and have a good time and don't have to worry about paying anything, because it automatically get deducted out off their chip. Now you have a rollout through Facebook, where the children, these college students, are coming together in these little hotel rooms and these little hotel getaways with a bracelet, in which they can do anything they want and be tracked all over the place. And it seems like fun, but it's leading everyone to deal with worshiping the beast. This is what this is coming to. Finish reading.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark.
So soon we will not be able to buy or sell unless we have the mark of the beast. Only the Most High can save us through this, because they're going to put the whole world into a global net. They got the satellites already in place that circulars the earth regularly as watchers over the earth to pinpoint who's with them and to look on the grid, and anyone that's not chipped, they will be automatically labeled terrorists or enemies of the state. But the Most High will save a few through the grid. But it's coming. This is what they're rolling out. Read.
Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast.
Or the name of the beast, which would be in this chip. Read.
Or the number of his name.
Go ahead.
Here is wisdom.
Here is wisdom.
Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
And his number is 666, which links into the characters within the chip itself. When you look at the number characters, it's the mark of a man to let you know that every man has a number connected to them. But right now you have it with cards. They're going to move that card into an electronic system, into one database, which was already signed in the legislation under Barack Obama. Okay? They claim that there must be a joining between the federal level, the state level, and the local level, a one database for an emergency purposes. It's all garbage. It's merging all your information together to roll out the mark of the beast, which is the Verichip. And it's coming. And you notice none of your preachers, none of your churches are talking about this. They're not talking about what the mark of the beast is. Why? Because in the church, it doesn't matter what the mark of the beast is, because according to their thwarted doctrine, the Antichrist is going to come. And before the Antichrist comes, Christ is going to come and float the church up into heaven. Then the mark of the beast comes. So they don't have to teach about the mark of the beast, because the church is going to be floated into heaven during the rapture. But the brother was absolutely correct when we asked the question, who is the beast? It's America. Now, but what happens to the beast? What happens to her once this grid is rolled out? We understand she's going to bring this forth. So we know beyond any shadow of a doubt that America is going to roll out the Verichip. They're going to roll this out before its destruction, according to the Bible. But listen to me clearly. They have the grid in place. You notice everything they do to people, they first test with what? Animals. When it comes to the food you're eating and things of that nature, they started off by testing it with little piglets and little rodents and rats. And after they tested on animals, they roll it out into the Food and Drug Administration, get that approved, and they'll put things in your food like rat poison, aspartame. But they rolled it out with rats first. Because if you are complicit with any level of the Most High's creation being killed, eventually, since you agreed with it and didn't fight against these scientists and these Satanist sorcerers who were killing these animals, now they're going to kill you. If you allow them to do it to the animals, eventually they will do you. Okay? Now, here's the next step. They started off with testing on the animals. Oh, yeah, okay, well, let's test a Rambo chip out on the animals, in which the bulls and the different animals they use, they would control their character through brain waves that was coming through the chip. They can make them docile, or they can make them angry. Yes, through radio waves, through this same Rambo chip that they use in Vietnam on select military men within the armed forces. They tested it back then. Now, then they made it seem like it was imperative, as if there was some big pandemic or some big thing where dogs were being stolen from all over the place, where dogs must get chipped for tracking. Okay? They rolled that out. It was cute. All the rich little people go get their dogs chipped and all that. And now it's mandatory. You can't even fly your dog from one place to the next unless your pet is chipped. Why? Because most people, with their pets, they want to take their pets with them. So even if you're not chipped, they'll still be able to track your pets. Okay, so they roll it out with the dogs first, and then they care. Then they act as if they care about us in the healthcare system, claiming that they're going to give us a chip, so that if your father wanders off with Alzheimer's, you'll be able to find him because you care so much. They care so much about your dad wandering off, and you got all types of drunks and everything wandering off under subway buildings and everything, and no one even cares. Okay. Then on top of that, come to find out, the majority of people that are Alzheimer patients, it's due to vaccinations and what's in their food. So if you cared about Alzheimer's patient, why don't you stop vaccinations? No. They're using these things as a pretext to bring forth the mark of the beast, because they're not going to tell people right out, listen, we have a Satan chip, and those that are with Satan, you are invited to your doctor's office, your doctors who've been killing you for years, and you are invited into your DMV, into your state legislator building to come down and be chipped so you can show that you are an American, or you can show that you are part of the program and not part of the problem. They're going to roll this out also in a lot of churches. So watch this. Now, listen, I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything of this. Before it's over, brothers and sisters, you will have preachers out there telling you that the chip is good. Yeah. The same ones that's telling you render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, that God wants you to have money. Because why? How would they be able to sustain their lifestyle without the chip? So they're going to come out too with this and say, listen, the church haven't been floated into heaven yet. Okay? The church haven't been raptured. This can't be the chip because the church haven't been raptured. The chip will come when the Antichrist comes, and we don't see the Antichrist yet. So this ain't the chip. That's what they're going to roll out there for you, brothers and sisters. They got the grids in place. Already in your Walmarts, already in your stores, you have checkout counters without tellers, without clerks at the station. The same people that at your Walmart counters, your Home Depot counters, and they have the little scan there, they're not going to have regular employees there anymore. What's going to happen? Your military, your security guard system, your Homeland Security will be the tellers just checking. They're going to be at the doors. You scan yourself through, then you take your stuff at home. Okay? This is what we're going into. And what eventually happened to this beast? Let's go to Revelation 17. Stick it in Revelations. And I say this because some people ask, well, why don't we go into Revelations too much? I understand why the Christian church don't want to go into Revelations, because the Bible tells us that Satan, the beast, give our government their power. And I'm going to tell you now, the governments are now throwing the preachers under the bus now. You notice that? They're saying that we must have more invasive structures into the church now and how they get in money now. Why? Because these guys are getting money hands over fist unchecked. And now they're turning their money into survival things that they can use to survive the New World Order. The government don't want that. They use that prosperity movement as long as they could use it to deceive the people, but now they're pulling that back. Okay, they're going after those preachers now with this prosperity doctrine. They're taking them all down. They've been utilized and infiltrated. And now the government now is going to take them down. Why? Because they have resources. And the people are now going into their pastor saying, well, we gave you money. What you going to do? How are we going to survive this? They're going to their pastors now. And the pastors are now coming up with alternative options outside of government. The government cannot have that. So they're going to start going against the pastors now. Watch. I'm talking about the prosperity pastors. Because the church been infiltrated a long time ago through the Illuminati and government. A long time ago. Okay? Now, let's go there. Revelation 17, and let's see what happens to the beast. Revelation 17. And let's start at the Let's start at the 12th verse, going back into the 12 horns, linking to Revelations 13.
Revelations chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
These are the 10 kings that will be over the EU. All power will go to the EU. Brothers and sisters, you need to look this stuff up. Don't you know, under a national emergency, which America has been under since 9/11, that in the event of any catastrophe or during a time of war, all electoral powers of the president go to the Secretary General of the UN. So that means the president don't even run the country. America been under a state of emergency under the Patriot Act since September 11, 2001. So the UN have been controlling the president. Look it up. Under a state of an emergency, all power goes to the Secretary General of the UN. So what happens when America's judged? All those elites will take seats over into the EU, over into Europe. That's what's coming. America is not controlled under their president and Senate anymore. Those are just puppet seats to keep the people quiet. Okay? Those are just puppet seats, brothers and sisters. They are being controlled by a conglomerate of bankers and people with financial fortitude and Satanists in the UN building. And the people in the UN are being controlled through the EU and their elites over in Israel. Listen to this clearly. Read.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
10 kings.
Which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So the European powers have not received power as of yet. But in the last hour before Christ comes, they will be in power. So these 10 horns really have a problem with America leapfrogging them, becoming a superpower when America came out of them. The New World Order 1776 Messianic agenda came from Europe. But yet they get no credit. All credit went to America, the beast whose image was like the original Rome. So they're going to have a problem with America, and that's what's happening now. They have now bankrupt America, all the finances. Now they made America where America owe the banks. You don't really owe this money. Okay, you owe the interest off of this money, but still they want to get paid. So these European powers who set up the construct is now stealing all the resources from the people. This is Bible prophecy right here. We're reading what's going on politically so that you can understand it from a layman's term. This is what they're doing. They're now raping the country before they destroy it. I'm going to show you. Read.
Verse 13. These have one mind.
They have one mind.
And shall give their power and strength.
Hold up. If they have one mind, what is that? That's a one world agenda. There was one mind before. Remember in Genesis, the 11th chapter, where it talks about the whole earth was under one speech, one language, one mind. So this is going back to the EU now. These have one mind, that's the New World Order, the all-seeing eye, and shall give their power and strength unto who?
Unto the beast.
Unto the beast, which is Satan. Listen to this clearly. Read.
Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb.
And it's they who will fight against Christ. Read.
And the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords, and the King of kings. And they that are with him are called the chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth.
The waters which you saweth, where the whore sitteth. Read.
Are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
It's a nation that's made out of all people, kindreds, and nationalities and tongues. What place is that? Statue of Liberty? Come, bring me your poor, bring me this, bring me that. It's a nation made out of all people, nothing but immigrants in the country. Read.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
These shall hate the whore. So Europe is going to pull themselves from the whore and hate her. That lets us know this is not talking about Rome. Because Europe will not destroy someone in proximity of themselves. Read.
These shall hate the whore.
They shall hate the whore.
And shall make her desolate
And shall
naked,
make her desolate and naked.
and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
So the UN's and the EU's legislation will lead to the demise and fall of America. Okay, the European powers of the EU will allow Iran to do what they're going to do. It's all in the legislation. Read.
Verse 17. For the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will.
Because the Most High have put it in their hearts to do this. The Most High have already put it in the elite's heart. He know what they're going to do. They're going to go against America. And they are imploding America right now before your eyes. We're seeing Bible prophecy fulfilled, which is going to lead to the answer with Occupy. Let's roll out the mark of the beast. Let's roll out a monetary system in which everyone can agree to. And they're going to make it smooth at first. Okay, they're going to relieve a lot of your debt. They're going to make it where you're not thrown out of your houses for a time. Mortgage relief. They're going to do a lot of things so that you can accept the chip. It's going to seem sweet. Okay? At first. But eventually, it leads to the destruction of Babylon. Now, I want to say this. I wanted to roll this out to tell you, even though the chip is going to be a worldwide monetary system in place, that will happen before America falls. That will happen before America falls. They will roll out the mark of the beast. They've already rolled it out. They sent over 1 million RFID chips so that Israel can chip their military. Don't forget, brothers and sisters, there's no separation between Israeli military and the American military. A lot of our troops, which are Americans, are chipped already. They just haven't told you. Barack Obama's whole family is chipped. A lot of your senators and congressmen, the majority of them are chipped already. They're not even dealing with the financial system the way we're doing with the regular fiat cash and all that. They're beyond that grid already. Okay? But they know there's some pushback because a lot of brothers and sisters in this earth, they need to see this. Once they roll out this chip, a lot of our people are going to know, okay, the Bible is true. This is what the Most High prophesied. And at that time, many are going to join on the Most High side, and they can't have that. So they've prolonged this as long as they could, but they're about to roll it out. In the meantime, like I said before, we have to think of resources and little plots. I mean, on the outside, nice and low, nothing publicized. Have your little gardens, have your little things where you go get your own little food. These are the things you need to be thinking about, okay? And doing it outside of America, okay? Because they know that we can see now. A lot of you young people are waking up. You can't put new wine in old bottles. But the youth are waking up. So the next generation, Satan don't got them the way he had the past generations. Our people are waking up. So what you got to do is you have to start thinking of planning on the outside of their grid. Okay? Start thinking out of the box, and above all, calling on the Most High and praying to him and doing the right thing so we can be under his grace when it's time. Now, I wanted to bring out the commotions in Baruch, but we're almost out of time, and I know that Gabar is about to come on. But what I'll do is I'll open this up for the next 5 minutes in questions relating to what we've just taught, just for 5 minutes. Okay? We can open this up. And, okay, he's coming on at 3 o'clock. Okay. Well, let me open this up for 5 minutes. And then we'll answer your questions. One moment. Well, you can start answering the questions.
1 second. I'm trying to. Someone says, when is the time to come out? Now, the person who asked that question, is that in reference to coming out of Babylon? Pretty much, the time to come out of Babylon is now. That's pretty much it. It's time to come out now. Like we just explained, everything is already in place for them to introduce their new system under the mark of the beast. You understand? There's only a few more things that have to happen in order for them to, fully roll out their plan. But it's pretty much already in place. So the time to come out is now.
Okay. What's the next one?
This one right here.
What's the next one?
What is up with the elders' obsessions with the Saturn, the cubes, and the Phoenicians?
Someone asked, what is up with the elite's obsession with Saturn, the cubes, and the Phoenicians? Well, that is a good question. The first obsession they have when it comes to Saturn, Saturn is another name for Satan. And in the elite's religion, they believe that's where Lucifer came from. They believe that that is the planet in which their God, the enlightened one, come from. Even though they're thrown out of their minds with their thwarted beliefs, okay? Because we know that there's no such thing as planets. Everything is stars and luminaries, okay? So what they're trying to make you believe is that they're trying to have you acknowledge the name of the planets because you are invoking a spirit by saying it, okay? The Most High didn't say, well, there goes Saturn, there's Mercury, there's Jupiter. The Greeks did this because these were their gods. They need you invoking the name because in acknowledging these spirits can have power over you if you're ignorant to who they are. So they just needed those names on your tongue. That's what that is about. The other part you're asking, what is the obsession with the cubes? I don't have no understanding about the cubes. Maybe I need to look into that. But when it comes to the Phoenicians, the original land of Phoenicia was the land of Canaan. And that's where the Nephilim were before the Israelites went into the land of Canaan. So they deal with the ancient Phoenician people's doctrine of the fallen angels and the children of the fallen angels. That's what they deal with. So when they went into Israel and they took excavations and they wanted to dig up some of that old fallen angel technology to be used in our modern day society, and that's what they're using today. All right, what's the next question here?
Washington, D.C. was originally called Rome. One second. Rome before it was called Washington, D.C.
I didn't know that. Okay, we already answered when is it time to come out of it. What is the next one there?
Should we
take death over the chip?
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to the Bible, Revelations 19. Let's get that real quick. Was it 11 and 19? I get it. Yeah. It's 11 and 19. You got it? One moment.
Revelations 20 and 4.
No, I wanted to get it where it talks about the smoke coming up. You know what I'm talking about? One moment.
Focus.
Yeah. No, yeah, the one talks about for those that chose to get it.
Oh, okay. Revelations 16.
That's it. Revelations 14 and 11. That's what I want.
Revelations chapter 14, verse.
Excuse me. Revelations 14 and 11.
Revelations 14 and 11. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
So whoever received the mark, there's no coming back from that. Because this mark is deeper than a chip in you to buy and sell. It's way deeper than that. It's you actually complying to worship Satan. That's number one. Also, the actions within you will not be your own reactions. They can control your emotions. They can control you. They can make you do things that you would forget that you go out and kill someone and you would forgot you even did that. It's like a Manchurian candidate. They can control your emotions. They can have you do things that's against your own will. So it's deeper than a monetary chip. It's so many things. If you don't follow it, if you don't follow them, they can use cyanide and give you a dose of cyanide and kill you. Or they can break it within your bloodstream and have it poison your heart. There's so many things that it's like committing suicide getting this chip. Okay, what's the next?
Is it okay to pray with my head down?
When it comes to prayer, that's between you and the Most High. Read Matthew, the 6th chapter. You can pray any way. That's between you and the Most High. Someone asked, where can I go to receive information on the harmful effects of vaccinations? A matter of fact, you can actually just type that into Google and you get many. You can get many links on that. There's an actual association against vaccinations that you can type in. Association against vaccinations, and you can also go into the side effects of squalene, the side effects of mercury. Those things are deadly. They have a new, they're crazy. They're giving young boys now the human papillomavirus virus. And that's for cervical cancer. The last time I checked, guys, young men don't have cervix, okay? But they want that adjuvant that's within that vaccination because it stimulates all the other vaccinations. It bugs you out. Okay, they give you cancer, leukemia, all these things come from vaccinations, okay? Time-release vaccinations. The Gardasil vaccination is a joke. It was killing girls all over the earth. Okay, now what is the next one here? When is the mark instituted due to them passing the 195 and 999 bill? They will, believe me, you'll know when they institute it, okay? And they're going to need a big disaster to roll it out. So be ready. And this is my opinion. This is not me prophesying. This is my opinion. I think that something big is going to happen before the election. That's my opinion. Okay? So whether or not they use that as a pretext, we know according to Revelations what the end game is for them. As far as what they're going to do in Revelations 13. They're going to roll this out. Okay? And also look for them, because they're all in the Gulf region. They're all around Iran. Look for America to attack their own ship or something and blame it on Iran. Keep your eye out for that. They're going to say Iran attacked something that belonged to them. And it's going to be them attacking their own ship. And that's when they're going to try to go against Iran. Look for Israel or either America to do this, because they did it in the Gulf of Tonkin to kill our people in Vietnam. So it's never ending. It's perpetual. America is Babylon and America is the beast. You have to realize it tell you that she rode a scarlet colored beast. So the beast travels. The beast went from Rome into America. It's really the spirit of Satan in itself. But you got to know according to the scriptures when it's talking about ancient Rome and it's talking about the image of ancient Rome. Okay? America will be made desolate. The safe places to go are in the same areas and mountain regions that our people were in coming out of Egypt the first time. Those are the safe places. But first we have to be safe with the Most High. Okay, this is the best question. If you deny the chip and stay fast to the Most High, what will happen to us? Good question. Go to Revelations 20.
Revelations chapter 20.
Read the 4th verse.
Verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yeshua.
He saw those who was beheaded for the witness of Yeshua. Read.
And for the word of the Most High.
And those that stood for the word.
And which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead.
So these are they who reject the chip. Read.
Or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
Those that deny the chip, even if martyred, will live and reign with Christ for 1,000 years. If you sent an email, you will receive a response soon. We're going to have someone go over the email, so just be patient with that. Someone will answer your email. Canada will not be safe. There'll be a highway between Mexico, Canada, and America. It's going to be a super highway after the destruction in America. That's going to pull those three together. Mexico will not be safe, America will not be safe, and Canada will not be safe. It's up to you how you pray, brothers and sisters. I mean, we can't, you can raise your hands, you go in your closet, whatever you got to do to the Most High, that's between you and the Father. I can't give no dates when it's okay for someone to do certain things. You have to make those choices. Okay? Well, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to America as a whole, opposed to the very few people that are actually listening and that are looking at what's going on, the majority of people will readily take it. Why not? I mean, there's nothing in their minds to tell them that it's wrong. Even if you tell them, they're going to come up with, listen, my guy don't want me to. I done had people say that who say they believe in Jesus. Well, if I got to take a chip so my kid can eat, then I'm going to take the chip. So that'll be a tougher sell in the Middle East and places that understand that you shouldn't be a part of a Borg or become an android. You can't. They're trying to mix people with machines. That's what they're doing. They're integrating the Most High's creation into artificial life. The same way they're doing plants and all that, they're trying to do that with us. Model Miss, that is correct. There's nothing to fear. We win. That is correct. Someone asked, did Yeshaya write the Old Testament? No, he didn't write the Old Testament. Yeshaya was the intercessor through the Holy Spirit to the prophets in the Old Testament. But he didn't write it himself. No, of course not. Okay, with that, we're going to say shalom, and may you all have a happy Sabbath. Y'all can hold tight. Elder Gabar is going to come right in for the Sabbath lesson. He's going to come right in right after we go. And any news that have to happen or an emergency news, keep your ear to the ground. And if anything happened in an emergency in which we have to make a move or whatever the case is, you all will know. Last but not least, let's get that, Revelations 19 and 20.
Revelations chapter 19, verse 20.
What's that?
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Okay, when you break down Revelations 19 and 20, where it talks about these three spirits being destroyed, you have the beast of the false prophet, which went from one pope to each pope. And they bring forth the false prophecy of ancient Babylon, of Nimrod. That's the spirit that's in your pope, which moved from one pope to the next. Of course, you know Satan. He's the father of all of them. He's going to be destroyed. And the spirit of the beast is really the feminine spirit. It's the spirit like a facsimile of the Holy Spirit, but it's a spirit within the earth that is worshipped like Semiramis. And that's the spirit of the beast that go from one empire to the next. It's also the spirit that's actually behind your computer systems. Your computer system is called the beast. It's a spirit that links in all computers. So all those spirits will be destroyed. Okay? Last one. Someone asked, who's speaking in Hosea 2 and 16? Read that, and then we'll pray out. That's it. Hosea chapter 2, verse 16.
Go ahead.
And it shall be at that day, saith the Most High, that thou shalt not call me, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and shalt call me no more Bailey.
Okay, that is a good question. We broke that down in the academy, where when you look at the word Ishi, it goes into husband, and it links to Yeshua, to let you know that the children of Israel will be married to Christ. They was once rejected by the Father, but they had to be married to another, and that's Christ. Okay, that he's the bridegroom. All right, so it's telling you, he was saying that he's going to send his son, and we will no longer call him Belly, because we were calling him Baal, you know, in the past when we went off. And that we would work, and through Christ, by going through Christ, we would get back to the Father. There's a lot of precepts with that, okay, that explains that. But they're saying him sending the Son to represent him, to marry us back to him. America is the beast. It's the beast in Revelations 13. There's a lot of different examples of the beast. When you go into Daniel's, each empire is called a beast, and they describe the beast, each beast in detail. All right? So a beast in Scripture is an empire. Okay? Like you had the Babylonian Syrians, the Persian Medes, the Greeks, the Romans. They were all beasts in Scriptures. America is also a beast. And they're the beast that's spoken of in Revelations 13 that will implement and roll out the mark of the beast, which is the Verichip. And that's an American company that actually came up with the patent for the Verichip. PayPal, all that will be linked to the chip. You see that little check where it says VeriSign and Verichip? The grid is already rolled out for that. Now they just need to chip the people. Okay? But of course, the majority of us will not get that. And in a case of an emergency, we'll do what we can to sustain and pray that the Most High give us power to fight against the New World Order. And through the Most High's mercy and grace, we pray that we all make it. Should we form a resistance and get guns? If you want to get killed, you should form a resistance and get guns. Now, if you're looking to privately protect yourself under the Constitution and not make it a public spectacle, then that's a choice that you make. But I wouldn't go into a Black Panther movement brazen guns as part of a movement. That's not smart right now. These policemen have orders to shoot and kill. They're not going to treat you like they do some of those neo-clans and those militia groups. They see you with a gun, they're going to shoot first and ask questions later. Well, I can't answer all the questions right now because we're already 15 minutes into Gabar's time. So send questions to the Gathering of Christ, gatheringas1@AOL.com. And we'll see how many of them we can get through. All right?